Alright, what's up all my YouTubers out there? I thought I would I guess I'd say maybe make part two of the video about new authorities and stuff like that. So all you new guys out here about to get your authority, some things that you should be aware of, I guess. And if I say some of the things that I said in my other video, then forgive me for it. But you just have to keep in mind right now. Of course, it's January the 9th, 2016. Of course, I'm up here in Chicago right now. It is actually snowing right now. I normally don't come up here, but this is one of the points I want to make to you, especially new guys. It's already going to be an issue because your MC number is going to be brand new. And so they're going to want to pimp you, as I may say, on your rates. They know you need to run something. You just paid all that money to get all of all of your information tags and all of that. So they're going to try to pimp you based on that new MC number. They probably going to figure you don't know much about rates and how much this should be paying for this lane or that lane. What you may want to do to offset that is make up in your mind already that you're going to go places that other drivers normally don't want to go. That's how you're going to be able to continue to get a good rate, even though you're a new carrier. I mean, nobody wants to run in New York. A lot of people don't like coming up here to Chicago. So as a new carrier, if you just want to go the places that everybody else wants to go, and on top of that, you're a new carrier, you really going to get lowballed. It's kind of weird, but when you're on the bottom, it's kind of like the crabs that's on the bottom of the ocean. As the freight lanes, what I mean by that, like I-10, I-20, I-40, I-70, but as the lower numbers, I-10, I-12 and all that out in Louisiana, and I-30 in Texas, all that. But the lower the numbers, depending on, not counting produce season and stuff like that, coming out of Florida or coming out of Texas or whatever. But when you stay on the bottom, and I had to learn this the hard way, when you run the bottom all the time because it's comfortable, it's a nice place, flat land, you're not dealing with, all your toll booths and heavy traffic of these metro areas. You just want to stay down in Florida, Carolinas, flat land. You can run that, don't get me wrong, you can run that, and depending on your hookup, you might be, you probably could make some, you probably could make a nice living, just depends on who you know. But if you pretty much don't have any connections and all of that, to offset, again, your new MC number, you may want to, just get out of the comfortable lane and just go ahead and start running those metro areas that a lot of people don't want to go, because you can charge a good rate to go there. It's all based on like supply and demand. Who wants to go, who does not want to go, and they're going to pay more for somebody to go. Okay, so you got to keep that in mind. Also, you don't want to jump out here and just get brand new trucks, brand new trailers. I mean, I'm telling you the truth. Really, these days, those brand new trucks, man, they be breaking down like crazy. If you can find a 06 or below, anything before you get to that, all that EGR and DEF fluid stuff, man, that would be ideal. I would always try to find a sound, which what I mean by sound is, a good, a sound, a good quality truck or tractor. If you were going to buy anything brand new, let that be your trailer, especially if you pull reefer units like I do. Because my logic behind that is I can get my truck worked on, you know, a road call or whatever. I can get that worked on, you know, long as my reefer unit is still running, it's in good shape. I got plenty of fuel in there. The product that I'm hauling, the load may be late, okay, but my load will not be compromised, okay. You don't want to have a brand new truck pulling an old ass trailer, especially a reefer unit, okay. You want that reefer unit to not be giving you any problems. I mean, really. So make sure you have a high quality reefer unit trailer, and that's definitely my, you know, advice on that right there. I mean, unless you are a real good mechanic on a reefer unit. Yeah, so if you're gonna get something new, get a new trailer, or, you know, damn near new trailer. Ain't nothing worse than having a freight claim on you because it's something that, you know, your fault. Anything have to do with your trailer breaking down, your reefer unit breaking down, that's on you. So you definitely want to have a good reefer unit if you're gonna pull reefers. Let's see here. As far as getting your authority and everything, it's a lot of things that you can do yourself as far as getting set up and all of that for the guys that don't quite have it yet. I still suggest hiring a company that does that for a living. You know, that's their business. They're gonna just be able to take care of so much more stuff and take some worries off of you, because once you get out here, unless you got somebody dispatching for you at home or whatever, it's gonna be enough just keeping up with your mileage and different things like that on your own, to be trying to, you know, book 2 and 3 loads out ahead of time and all of that. So like I said, it's gonna be enough stuff. I don't want to have to worry about, you know, stuff relating to you know, my IFTA tags and you know, my IFTA or my tags or you know, that type of stuff there. Number 3, learn how to use your GPS. And I'm not talking about so much for directions, even though you will use it for directions, but learn how to use the functions on your GPS. I have a Rand McNally. I think I got that 510, the smaller one, the 5-inch screen. Of course, that keeps up with all of my miles that I run in each state. Every time I buy fuel, I can key in my fuel. Every time I buy fuel, and on your you know, in the end of your quarter, because you're gonna pay fuel taxes quarterly. So I can just go right back in my Rand McNally, and I can just go through each quarter, and you know, it'll just show me how much fuel I bought in every state, and I can also see how many miles I ran in every state, and so I can just jot that down, send it to my people, and you know, and they quickly calculate my, you know, IFTA, whatever I owe. So learn how to use the functions on your GPS. It's more than just a guidance or navigation system. Wow, let me see here. What else? I said don't get on new tractors if you can help it. Get a new trailer. Let's see here. If you get out here and you get into hauling produce, until you get completely familiar with what you're doing, always put your reefer unit setting on what's on that bill of lading. Okay, if you hauling something that's very delicate, let's say like lettuce, red leaf lettuce, green leaf lettuce, strawberries, I mean stuff that's really delicate, don't think you're gonna save fuel and all that stuff there. Where, you know what, they say 38 degrees, I'm gonna put mine on 38 degrees cycle, where it cuts off and on, so I can save fuel. Don't do it. Big mistake. Put it on what the bill of lading say. If it says 38 degrees continuous run, put it on 38 degrees continuous and leave it. Because if something happens at the end of your delivery and they reject that product, they're going to want to pull the download from the computer of that reefer unit. And if that reefer unit shows that you had that thing in cycle, you know, where it cuts on, cuts off, and cuts on, cuts off, they're going to nail you for a claim. Okay, they're going to nail you for a claim. And just to get into this right quick, the difference in, and this is from a reefer unit, guys, who are new to the business. The difference in cycle versus continuous. When I mean cycle, where it runs until it reaches set point, and then it cuts off, and then it stays off until the temperature drops down to a preset point, then it turns back on. Okay, that's cycle. Continuous, it just stays continuous. You know, okay. So here's the main difference of functionality. In continuous, your reefer unit, when it's working properly, will maintain the temperature within, most of the time, within like 1 or 2 degrees. It'll maintain it completely that whole trip. Okay, but when it's on cycle, let's say you got it set on 38. Let's just say 38 degrees. All right, it hits 38 degrees, it cuts off. All right, it's not gonna cut back on until maybe it get up to maybe 42, 43, depending on what the parameters. You can set the parameters for different things for how long it's gonna stay off, the temperature change. But when it comes back on, it's coming back on at full blast. What I mean by that is the temperature coming out of the end of that air chute is coming out full blast. I mean, like it could drop down to 0 coming out of the end of that chute. It could drop down to 0 coming out of the end, because the air just has to make it back into the return sensor, and the return sensor senses that your trailer is at 38 degrees. Then it will cut off. But up until that point, you could have 10-degree air, 5-degree air blowing out of the back of your air chute, and depending on the product that you can have top freezing, which freeze top layer of lettuce, strawberries, or whatever it is. You have top freezing. So you may think you're saving some money by having it on start stop, but leave it on continuous. Whatever the bills say, if the bill of lading say run it on continuous, run it on continuous. I'm telling you the truth. You will thank me for it later. Okay, run it on continuous when dealing with certain types of produce. Wow, I hope I carry some tools in your truck. Few airlines, clamps, just simple stuff that if you broke down, you could say, damn, all I need is a clamp. You know, all I need is a piece of pipe or a piece of hose. You know, carry a few things with you, you know, in the truck, because it'll make a world of difference when you're on the side of the road and somebody has to bring you something. These breakdown guys have to bring you something, and they charge you $400 for something that would have cost you $15 at a truck stop. But they got to make their money. That's how they make their living. So, you know, be prepared somewhat. You can't have everything, of course, but, you know, be prepared. Have some things with you, you know, like that. If I missed anything or something specific you want me to attempt to try, I know there's a lot of guys that's got a lot of videos on YouTube and everything, and you know, and we're just trying to give information out here to, you know, to the new guys. Not saying who's right, more right, or whatever. Just take, how they say, chew up the meat and spit out the bone. Whatever's not pertaining to you, don't worry about it. Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, just don't worry about it. So, okay, all right. Let's see, pull up for